Yeah, for anyone out there who can correctly tweet me and tell me where it's the day of the show y'all comes from, I'll marry you. Doesn't matter. I don't care who you are,
Wow.
but I'll
All
marry
right,
you.
guys, there you go. Marriage proposal to whoever figures it
Yeah.
out.
So
And that the day y'all get married might become what's known just like this event we're talking about as Judgment Day.
Judgment. Yeah. Anyone who marries me, it's
So
Judgment Day. Hi, welcome back to Simply Amazing. My name is Nocturne, and it's called Lisa, and I'm a person who's gonna intro my co-host Lauren. She's so awesome. Her hat is by.
I was gonna say, I wasn't prepared for this to be a musical. So kind of like how we were all attacked with Joker 2 supposedly being a musical. This episode is not a musical, and I'm attacked. My voice is
Okay,
not prepared.
okay. Two things on musicals. Number one, I love musicals. I just finished watching Smigadoon on Apple Plus, and it was so fucking charming. So fucking charming.
What's it
Um,
called? Because I might need to watch it.
Schmigadoon. Oh my god! And the cast is
Schmiggle, what?
Schmigadoon. Schmigadoon. The cast is for Alan Cummings in it, so you should watch it. As a Nightcrawler fan, you are
Oh
obliged to
well,
watch it.
I'm also a musical person, even though I can't sing worth a shit. So I will be watching it.
Alan Cummings in it. He plays the gay mayor of Schmigadoon,
Of
who's
course.
like not out in the beginning, and he's got a wife, and then he comes out halfway through. And Fred Armisen plays his like love interest. I don't know. Fred Armisen's one of those characters who's one of those guys who like he's just fucking funny just being. Have you ever seen when he like does the character of like the really snotty woman? Oh my god, we are talking about shit that has nothing to do with anything. Lauren, hi. What are we here to talk about? What are we here to talk about? Because I could just keep going on about Schmigadoon.
It's true. It's true. I feel like at some point we're gonna have to do like a musical episode or two in terms of we talk about Kurt in the world of certain musicals. I think that would be really fun. We've already done Grease basically, so like we've already started.
That's true. I honestly like you know that if Kurt like the sad thing that about X-Men Evolution not like lasting longer is like he would have been a drama nerd. Like he would have been
Oh, 100%. He was a theater kid.
a whole totally a
100%.
theater kid. Totally. He would have been the guy who's like takes it way too seriously too. Like he'd have a great time with it, but he's like the day of the show. It's the day of the show, y'all guy. Like that's who Kurt is, you know?
Yeah. He's the underdog talent that nobody sees, but he's better than everybody else, both as, an actual actor and as a human being.
Also, for
Or
anybody
whatever
out
we
there,
call mutant nowadays.
yeah, I don't know. I guess we're gonna find out in a minute what the Eternals call them, and I don't like it. But
Yeah.
for anyone out there who can correctly tweet me and tell me where it's the day of the show y'all comes from, I'll marry you. Doesn't matter. I don't care who you are,
Wow.
but I'll
All
marry
right,
you.
guys, there you go. Marriage proposal to whoever figures it
Yeah.
out.
So
And that the day y'all get married might become what's known just like this event we're talking about as Judgment Day.
Judgment. Yeah. Anyone who marries me, it's
So
Judgment Day. I tell you.
so July 20th is solicited as the first issue coming out is Avengers, X-Men, Eternals, Judgment Day. And I'm just going to read the short synopsis on this Marvel article. So in case you have no idea what the hell this Judgment Day article is, you only read like the X book you like. You don't read Avengers or Eternals. What's this about? So on July
Sounds like me.
20th. Yeah, that's exactly it. I mean, I'm down to Immortal X-Men and, Legion of X because I'm
You're
trying to be
obligated.
for Kurt. Yeah, I'm legally obligated. So,
Yeah.
on July 20th, war will descend on the Marvel Universe, and all of Earth's heroes will be judged in its wake. Writer Kieran Gillen, artist Valerio Schiti, and colorist Marty Garcia's Axe Judgment Day will spring out of the pages of Avengers, Eternals, and X-Men. Blah, 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 blah. Let's get to the fun part. So this comes to head when the Eternals discover mutant kind is a form of excess deviation. Here we go. As a result, the Eternals will attempt the very thing they were created to do, eliminate the deviants. So now the mutants are trying to get eliminated again. I mean, come on, guys. Get this. When the Eternals attack Krakoa, the Avengers will find themselves pulled into the fight, torn between the two most powerful factions in the Marvel Universe. So this is basically Eternals trying to attempt genocide, and the X-Men going, you shouldn't attempt genocide on us. And then the Avengers are going, yeah, genocide's wrong, right?
Oh, it's okay. So I had like flashes of Inhumans. I had flashes of all this bullshit. It's like, okay, Marvel, stop trying to make things better than the X-Men, because the X-Men are the best and always will be. There's a reason why you sold your rights for the X-Men and not the goddamn Eternals, because no one goddamn cares about the Eternals or wants them. Same with the fucking Avengers. No one gave a shit about the Avengers until Robert Downey Jr. was Iron Man. Legit.
It's
No
true.
one gave a shit, because if anyone gave a shit about the Avengers, they would have sold those rights off too to get out of bankruptcy. So I'm just calling lots of bullshit on this whole thing. Listen, I'll read it, because Kieran Gillen's been fucking amazing on Immortal X-Men. Like the idea, like the likelihood is that this is the story might be really good, even though like the premise seems very like, the premise also reminds me of like it's yeah, like you said, it's like X-Men are like genocide bad, in Eternals are like genocide good, and the Avengers are like, there's really good people on both sides. And it's like, what?
Yeah.
What? It reminds me of people who like still simp for Russia during the whole Russia-Ukraine thing, where it's like, but not every Ukrainian is good. Yeah, well, that's not the fucking issue. The issue is they're being fucking like destroyed by another country, and that shouldn't be fucking happening. So
yeah, it's definitely going to be an event where there's all these little moral questions, and there might be one or two that are going to be good, and I trust Gillen's writing, but at the same time, like, I'm with you. It's like, oh, God, didn't we learn from the whole No More Mutants that Wanda did that you shouldn't wipe out an entire group of people just because you think something's wrong with them? And the Eternals have their own lore, and full disclosure, I enjoyed the Eternals movie. I love that. I've read the comics. Love the movie. But like, they're basically, to my understanding, and with the comics, they're like, okay, deviant, we destroy. That's it. There is no really big moral compass beyond that, other than they believe that's their prime purpose, regardless of any other moral obligation. It's to get rid of the deviants. And now that mutants are considered deviants, it's like, what?
which makes no goddamn sense. No. Like, why are they deviants? Like, I don't understand that. Like, are like Java Hut finches deviants because they also evolved? It doesn't fucking make any sense. Like, what makes them deviants? And again, I know as here's how much I know about the Eternals. I saw the fucking movie. That's really it. But I don't understand. I guess my whole thing is this also feels very like she doesn't go here, because I don't understand how the Eternals are as important as the X-Men and the Avengers. Like, how is that the third of this triangle? Like, why? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. It's like they're just trying to prop them up and be bigger. Probably Eternals 2 they're working on, blah, 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 whatever. Who knows? The only thing that I'll watch is, what's his face? The guy who was the actor in the Eternals, which, God damn, I know his name, and it's like I'm blanking. Anyway, I would watch a show about him, but like him just being an actor, like being an asshole and all that stuff. But like, I don't know. The rest I'd also watch a show about the cult Eternals. Like, I think that'd be fun. Let's have a cult show about the cult.
Yeah, well, I think because I looked it up just as you were talking now. I probably should have done this before record, but it's kind of fun to learn as you go. Deviants in the comics are the end product of a series of DNA tests known as Homo descendus, created by the enigmatic alien Celestials. Their race is largely insensitive, and they view all other species as a threat. They even distrust each other, and often get in their own way. Okay, well, first of all, like, are they just redefining what deviant is? Because by this definition, I know this is not. I know by this definition, the X-Men are not deviants. They were just created with DNA tests by Celestials. unless they, again, expand on this story and they're like, actually, that's just memories they implanted in their heads, or they wiped their memory from like 10 lives ago or something, which could
it's
be interesting
just,
with the Mora thing.
yeah. And it's just like, stop bringing the X-Men down so you can elevate other characters and other properties to their level. Let the X-Men be great. Just let them be great, because they're fucking amazing. And when they're done well and given the right attention, they are fucking awesome. So I want to point out one thing that came to my mind, and that's during Civil War. And it's like one of Emma Frost's most fucking iconic moments. And I think everybody who's listening knows exactly where I'm going with this, where she's sitting with Tony Stark and her quote, "Where were the Avengers when Genosha died, Iron Man? Where were you when our babies were burning?" And it's like, yeah, bitch. Like, this is not it's just one of those things where it's like, oh, we're gonna genocide the mutants again. Like, this is not the first time this has fucking happened. It's not gonna be the last time it's gonna happen. But maybe it shouldn't, like, I just, why do we keep genociding the mutants? Let them be great.
Well, because that's all they can do. Because you're completely right. So the X-Men are so great. Let them be great. And that's why the only threat, anyone else that isn't part of the X-Men or mutant world, that's the only threat, is complete genocide. Nothing else will threaten the X-Men because they are so great. Oh, you're going to come blow up like our treehouse in New York? Like, oh, you're going to come Krakoa? Good luck. You can't get here. Oh, you... And by the way, for those of you that don't know, in this event, the Eternals and I think the world possibly, they find out that the X-Men can resurrect themselves, which is a big deal. They're going to... The mutants' biggest secret is going to be exposed. And so I think that's going to be interesting, because I think that will play into a lot of the stuff that's been going on with Krakoa lately, with the secrets and only certain people knowing certain things. And now everybody's just going to know. By the way, death means nothing to them. And I think the most interesting thing will be to see not only how the Eternals act, because they're going to be mad as hell, but now they're like, great, we have to go destroy how they resurrect themselves to permanently kill these deviants, garbage. But I think the Avengers are there because they're going to have that human reaction with the humans to, that's not fair. You can get resurrected. Like, why do you think you're above us? Are you guys, are mutants actually above us, or are you guys humans? Just so it's going to continue examining more of that. But you're absolutely right, Lisa. Like, you're doing all this just to try to get the Eternals and Avengers even close to the X-Men level.
Yeah, and as someone who's like a longtime X-Men fan, like going all the way back to like my very, like, even before the fucking cartoon in the 90s, like, I collected the cards. Like, this is like going way back, and there are so many of us who are just basically X-Men fans. It's like, we're not Marvel fans, we're X-Men fans, and like, I've watched and enjoyed some of the Marvel movies and TV shows and all that stuff, and the X-Men movies were hit and miss. I'm excited for the X-Men to come to the MCU and to see what Marvel's going to do with it, because they're so good at really creating their properties well. Issue is like, I've never had that much of a connection to any of the properties that have already been created in the MCU, except like Wanda. But even that, like, Wanda's, they did okay. But it's just enough with the genociding. And there's the other thing that's like bothering me a little bit. And I'm like a white chick talking about this, so take this with a grain of salt, because I don't have any of the experience. But there are so many like racial undertones and like about things that had happened in the past when you think about it. Like, so for example, there's always this talk of like, well, if you don't like it, why don't you do your own thing? Why don't you make your own thing? Why don't you, all of that. So it's like, yeah, so you said to the X-Men, like, well, you're going to be treated, you said to mutant kind, you're going to be treated this way in the world. If you don't like it, tough luck. Go make your own island. Go make your own country then. And what they do, they went and fucking made their own country. And it's like, okay, well, that's fine. We're going to go make our own country. And now it's like, oh, wait a minute. How dare you? How dare you go make your own country? How dare you take Mars, even though we weren't doing any fucking thing with it? Like, it's just, there's all those kind of undertones that have come up in history several times. I'm like, the one thing I can think of is like the Tulsa riots, right? A marginalized society has made their own niche and created their own thing. And of course the majority had to go and fucking take it back from them and like destroy them, because they were gaining some kind of power within their own right. And that's the thing too. And I get that there needs to be a comeuppance when it comes to the resurrection protocols, because like there's yeah, like we saw in one of the issues, I can't remember which issue it was, where it was like Orcus like was like, didn't we just fucking kill them last week? Like what? Like didn't that exact one come last week and we killed them? Like what the fuck is going on? So like I get that, and there has to be some kind of repercussions and some comeuppance for that. Um, but at the same time, there also needs to be like a reckoning of, well, we keep fucking killing them. I mean, should we be upset that they figured out how to get around it? Like we're the ones making the issue because all they want to do is just fucking live their lives.
Right. Yeah, yeah, I mean, but that's the thing with the X-Men too. Anytime you do a story, even talking about, if you talk about killing a group of mutants, any level, whether, obviously there's implications, the more you want to kill and such, obviously with genocide and everything, but there's no good way to be like, so we're gonna kill a group of mutants and it not have undertones like that, for it to not have racial undertones, for it to not have undertones relating to the LGBTQ community, for all these different things. It's there's just no fucking way you can't do it and avoid that. And it's interesting because while you were saying all that, I continued reading about deviants, and it's even further simplified to a deviant as a modified human with unstable genetics that provokes different forms and abilities. Based on that really broad definition, you could definitely make an argument that a mutant is a deviant, but then also why all mutants? Because I scrolled further, and actually Skrulls are mostly or nearly all deviants who eliminate the other offshoots of their species, leaving only one of the original race. But like, how can all mutants be deviants? Because they all have so many different histories, and some even come from like different timelines, especially like Moira, for example, is a mess. Like, we still don't completely understand her. Sinister himself, for God's sakes. Like, Sinister probably is a deviant. They can just take him. I have no issue with that.
Yeah, I mean, he's not even a mutant. I mean, okay, I've got a test that we're gonna call the mutant deviant test, and is are mutants deviants? Okay, because I saw Eternals. That's all I fucking need to know. And what I saw in Eternals were these fucking disgusting, gross monsters, right? That are the deviants. Am I wrong?
No, that's what you saw.
Okay, if you would fuck it, it's not a deviant.
I don't think that's how that works.
That's my test. So, like, here's the thing.
There are mutants I wouldn't fuck. Oh, so that means they're the deviants. That we're gonna get rid of the people I don't want to fuck. I love that.
So it's a broader kind of thing. Like, would you fuck someone from this group? You know what I mean? Because, like, I'm gonna tell you right now, there's not a single deviant anyone wants to fuck. But because they'll just bite your dick off. But I mean, here's the thing: you'd fuck Gambit. You'd fuck Gamma.
Look, I saw that cover. I saw that cover for the Hellfire Gala. 100%.
Oh my god.
Rogue, I mean, listen, you totally don't have to, and I would if I were you, but if you want to share.
It is a damn shame. It is a damn shame he's a married man, is all I have to say.
I mean, married people have their own things they like to do sometimes, but also, look, I'm fine with just looking and drooling. Like, honestly, that's half the fun. Is the idea that you actually can't do anything.
You know what I really need? I need a new Gambit book, and I know there is one coming out by Chris Claremont, but like I need one that's like the By Adventures of Remy LeBeau. And it's like it's very similar to what Fabian Nicieza did in the 90s, which was basically the By Adventures of Remy LeBeau. Yeah, like I need it. I need it. I need him just flirting with every fucking thing that has a heartbeat.
Mood. Okay, well, a little back on topic, because I thought of this as you're talking, thirsting over Gambit. So, what do you think the ramifications of this event will be for the X-Men? Let's talk about the X-Men. I could care less about the Eternals. Sorry, I just don't read the comics. The Avengers, they're the Avengers, like, and there's so many of them. And I can't tell who's on the team anymore. The X-Men, the mutants, however, I keep up with. And that's who we talk about here with Kurt. What do you think the ramifications will be? Like, do you think we will see Krakoa completely affected? Do you think we will see the resurrection protocols either changed or gotten rid of?
So, it's going to be interesting because I don't think the resurrection protocol will be gotten rid of, only because it's a great tool for writing. And honestly, it's like just from the beginning, it was really kind of almost tongue in cheek. Like, yeah, like I mean, how many times have X-Men come back from the dead? It's kind of nice to have an easy way to do it. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's not so. Maybe it becomes a little bit harder to do. Maybe it's not so like, yes, we can bring back everybody, including Jesus of Nazareth, who apparently is a mutant too. I want to see Kurt deal with that. I want to see Kurt deal with that. Jesus coming back and Jesus being like, y'all fucked up everything. Y'all didn't listen to a single thing I said. Like every single thing I said, you just what? I said a fucking camel can go through a needle before a rich man goes to heaven. Y'all fucking think I like rich people? Give me a break. That's what Jesus does. But and then he smacks Kurt and he's like, "Stop fucking your sister. I'm watching. I've been seeing it the whole goddamn time." All my dad can say, all my dad can talk about is the blue one who keeps fucking his sister.
I love how that's what this brought you to, was Judgment Day, resurrection,
Judgment Day.
Jesus, getting Kurt in line and stop fucking his sister. Lisa
That's
went
Judgment
back
Day.
to it all.
That's Judgment Day. Jesus is going to come back for the reckoning. He's going to come back for Judgment Day, and he's going to be like taking the souls. And when Kurt comes up, he's going to be like, "When was the last time you fucked your sister? Then? Oh, okay, you're going to have to stay. Sorry. Deal with fucking Ragnarok or whatever the fuck they call it. I don't know. Now I'm just mixing shit up.
Listen. This
is a disaster.
I love the way I love the way you're going off tangent, because that's what events like this do. Like summer events and shit, like they create chaos in the community because everybody just starts throwing fits more than ever, and people already throw fits all day, every day. But they're throwing tantrums. They're doing this. Oh, this character's out of character. I mean, honestly, for this event, I think the X-Men have the advantage, not only just in terms of actual ability and power and all that, but because Gillen is writing Immortal X-Men, and he's the one writing this event. So I think so this too. Event has the potential to be very good for the X-Men. Obviously, I would agree. I think Gillen also wrote some of the Eternals. Am I wrong on that?
I have no idea. I couldn't tell you because I've never seen an Eternals comic book in my goddamn life.
I think he did. Hold on. I'm going to find out real quick because I don't want to speak.
I remember when the Eternals movie came out.
Yeah. He's been doing the newest Eternals.
Okay. There was a meme that I created, and it's the meme of DW. Like, remember DW from Arthur, and she's like looking at the door, and she's like,
yeah.
And there's a sign that says something on the door, and then she's like, well, it's a good thing I can't read. And I posted this meme that was like the sign said like spoilers for the Eternals, and I was like, well, it's a good thing I don't give a shit about the Eternals or know anything about them. So yeah, that's how much I care about the Eternals. Anyway, that was a long story for nothing. So I want to point out one thing. So I agree that there's a chance that this could actually end up really well for the X-Men, and I think the X-Men have needed a like big level kind of I don't know, like a something to bring them back into the fold and make them really feel like they're actually a part of the Marvel universe, because the sad thing that Krakoa has done, unfortunately, has really isolated them quite a bit. So it would be nice if they were brought back in a good way and in good standing, and could be heroes again with the other heroes. But that's we'll see if that happens. I will say that there are 3 one-shots that are specifically character-focused stories that Gillen is writing. One of them is on Iron Man, which, I mean, whatever. The second one is about Jean Grey and her relationship with the Phoenix Force. And the third one is about Ajax, whatever. But let's talk about Jean. Because, of course, we know the Phoenix Force has been hoeing it up with the X-Men or with the Avengers lately. I wonder if this is like going to be almost like a homecoming of like, fuck you guys, the Phoenix belongs to the X-Men. Give her shit back.
Stop throwing the Phoenix around, okay? I'm really tired of Marvel being like, the Phoenix can now go with anyone, anywhere, anytime. Nuh-uh. There are 2 people in my head that get the Phoenix Force at any point. Jean Grey, whether you want her to or not, she is the Phoenix. The Phoenix is her.
She's the
but
OG.
Also Rachel.
Yes,
Summers
Rachel
can control the Phoenix. So if anything, Jean can get her back for a while, but I think Rachel should have her forever, because Rachel could actually bond with the Phoenix and actually kind of synthesize with it, which was crazy. Jean could never do that. She could never fully synthesize. It was either she tried to control it or it took over her. There was no middle. Rachel got that middle. So Phoenix Force, make your way back to Rachel, baby. You're getting there.
Exactly. Lesbian in aisle 4, Phoenix Force. Go find her. Uh,
Listen, I have a lot of thoughts that are not appropriate. Please continue.
we can't have this be like the second episode in a row where we just dissolved into Rachel love. Like it just can't happen. So
Okay, I'm good.
I mean, was it our Legion of X episode where we went off about Rachel for like 20 minutes, or was it the one before? I can't remember now, but like, yeah.
It was only like 5 minutes. Like, we did pretty well last time we went off about Rachel.
That's true. That's true. Now we've gone off talking about going off about Rachel.
Okay, but what if she's a huge part of Judgment Day? What if they're bamboozling us, being like, look, Jean's gonna get the Phoenix again, but then in the end, it goes to Rachel, and Rachel fixes everything. I mean, because that's the thing. One-shots and covers all of it, especially for big summer events like this, they're hella misleading a majority of the time.
So, I have a total aside, but about the Phoenix Force, and I want to ask you this, and I'll ask everybody who's listening this too. Let us know what you think. There is a rumor going around that I saw that in Thor: Love and Thunder, so there's this rumor going around that Thor: Love and Thunder, there's a character missing. Like there's a character that's been clearly edited out of scenes, and like there's a lot of rumors about who it might be. And one of the rumors I saw said that there's like in the Thor books, it's been implied that the Phoenix is his mother. And one of the theories was like, well, maybe they're going to introduce the Phoenix Force in Thor. And here's my question. How quickly are X-Men fans going to go to Marvel and burn it down when they find out that they decided to introduce it in Thor instead of an actual X-Men movie? Now, again, this is not going to happen specifically, but
I'm already trying to bamf over to the office right now to ensure they don't even attempt it. Do not even try it. Don't even put it in an early script that gets thrown away. I never want that. No. The second you said Phoenix Force and Thor, I was like, oh God. And then you said Mom and Thor, and I said, nope, burn it with fire. Incorrect, illegal. No, because then by some weird definition, that somehow is going to make Jean his mother burn it.
No,
don't want it.
It's just something that I get that Marvel wants to play with the Phoenix Force, and it was one thing when it was like, oh, but also the Phoenix can be in like Colossus and Emma and Scott and Namor and whoever the fuck else was in the Phoenix Five. I can't remember. Was it Hope? I don't remember.
Think maybe that's just maybe that's just them being like, Jean wants to be in all these people. Marvel, stop, move on. The Phoenix Force doesn't. See, here's the thing with the Phoenix Force.
Good choices.
This is back to what I said in the last Legion of X episode, like. Or maybe it's the one that we haven't released yet. Don't worry about me, guys. I don't know what time is. But keep things simple, for God's sakes. Not everything needs to be made complicated. So if you're like, oh my God, we could make the Phoenix Force this crazy shit and affect everybody else. No, Phoenix Force is X-Men. Stay there. And if you're going to do crazy shit, at least keep it to the X-Men. Stop putting it to the Avengers. Don't put it to Thor. If you can't figure out something better to do with Thor than to bring in X-Men shit, then you don't know Thor. Then you're wasting all of Thor's potential. Knock it off.
Again, it's a super crazy rumor. It's probably not what's going to happen. So I don't want to I'm still going to go see Thor: Love and Thunder on the first day. But I do want to point out. But I do want to point out, when they do put X-Men shit into their movies, it's a fucking big deal. Because remember when Xavier was in Multiverse of Madness, and that was the biggest thing in the entire movie was fucking Xavier.
Yeah.
So yeah, and nobody fucking likes Xavier. That's how desperate we are for MCU X-Men content, is that we all hate Xavier, but we're all salivating at the underneath his fucking little hover chair.
True. Well, listen, I wonder, that's one good thing that could come from these events. Will the Eternals actually kill Xavier for good?
Ooh.
What if that's a deal they make? They're like, look, we'll stop hunting y'all, but Xavier is the worst deviant of all y'all. We have to kill him, and you can't bring him back. I don't know how that would happen or even work, but what if some crazy shit like that happened? I'm down. Take him out.
I mean, they're kind of, they're very much indicating that, in Legion of X, that Legion might do away with his father. I feel like that's been indicated quite a bit.
David might trade him up. David might say, hey guys, look, I'll give you this guy. He's the actual worst. He keeps perpetrating all this shit.
He's making deals with Mother Righteous, so we don't know, right? But just going back to this Jean Grey thing, I just want to read this exact thing. X-Men, whatever. it will examine Jean Grey's intricate relationship with the Phoenix Force, burning away the mystery behind their connection once and for all. It wasn't her. It wasn't her. It wasn't her. It wasn't her. Yet, I am fire and life incarnate now and forever. Which part of now and forever is confusing to you? As the one world burns, can Jean Grey justify her existence after burning another?
What the fuck?
I don't know. We'll see.
They had me at like the first part and then kept going, and I was like, what are you saying? Like, I know you're talking riddles on purpose, but like,
I think what they're planning to do with this is they're planning to make clear how much of what Jean has done in the past has been the Phoenix Force, and how much of it was her. Because there's always that going back to like, was she the one who burned all the broccoli people or whatever, or did she not? You know, like.
Well, no, I thought it was always understood, at least in the past, that whenever the Phoenix said stuff, when Jean came back to herself, she felt terrible about it. She's like, oh my God, I can't believe I did this, but it was her, it was the Phoenix. And that's
But
I would rather them just get to a point where I think by the end of this, she should be like, you know what? It was mostly the Phoenix at those times, but there's also a crazy part of me that still did those things and did them somewhat willingly. And at the end of the day, I can't ever synthesize with the Phoenix because of things like that. But my daughter Rachel, on the other hand, hey girl, you and the Phoenix are all in one, and that's okay. When Jean and the Phoenix are all in one, it's not really okay.
So here's a question though. Because I feel like, I mean, this isn't really a question. I feel like in Morrison's run, they like blurred those lines quite a bit and made it seem like she was way more. Again, I'd have to go back and reread all that. It's been a long time, but I feel like that's there. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. I mean, it's coming in July, so we're not that far off at this point.
I mean, maybe she's going to need the Phoenix Force to fight the Eternals. Maybe that's what's happening.
Maybe the Phoenix Force is an Eternal.
Ooh, I actually don't hate that.
Right? Could you imagine? That would be kind of cool. And then the Avengers are just like, we don't know why we're here.
Right. I mean, that's the thing. Like, other than collateral damage or the occasional, like, Emma thirsting over Steve in the male battle, honestly, give me that. Here for that content.
I actually think Steve should join the X-Men.
But he's not a mutant.
I mean, whatever. They've had non-mutants join the X-Men.
It's true. But what would he do? Like, there's no team for him to lead. They've got plenty of leaders themselves. Like, what's he? I mean, his only purpose would be to be Emma's fuckboy, which I'm not completely against.
I don't know. I just like having a dumb hot blonde. I mean, Steve's not dumb, but actually, maybe I just want Brian. Maybe I just want Brian back. Maybe that's what I want. I want Brian back.
You need the himbo back, and you know what? Yes. That's valid.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? There's just so many things that could potentially happen with this event. The Phoenix Force is coming back possibly somehow to the X-Men, to Jean, whatever. We've got the Himbos we're hoping come back. We've got the Avengers getting slaughtered probably by the X-Men and the Eternals. Iron Man's probably going to have some moment where he tries to act like he's a good person, even though he isn't. I mean, there's just so much that can happen. Are you going to be reading this event as a whole or just catching it when you can, Lisa? I mean, what's your plan with this event?
I mean, we're going to see what the lead up is like, because if the lead up is really exciting, I'll read the whole thing. But if not, I'll just read the cliff notes. I'm going to make a prediction that I'm going to guarantee will happen. Nightcrawler will be in the event, but just mostly in group shots.
You're right. I mean, they took all this time in that trailer they released to be like, look, here's Destiny and Mystique and Kurt all together talking about like, wow, something bad's coming. And it's almost an entire Darkholme family reunion, almost, except Rogue's not there. Why? And they're totally just using that to draw us, Mystique and Destiny fans, and then Kurt fans in to the event. And then they'll be there for like 5 pages.
Listen, there are dozens of us. Dozens!
Dozens.
That's an Arrested Development quote. Anyway, well, this was fun. We definitely talked way longer than I expected, because I was like, I don't know what I'm going to say about this, but I had a lot to say and I got real heated. So
she did, y'all. You missed her face getting all red and
her eyes got
all big, and I was like, man, she could jump through that screen and get me. I didn't even do anything.
I was coming for you. Well, thanks for joining us again on another Simply Amazing episode of Simply Amazing, and we hope that this Judgment Day event is simply amazing.
Wait, Judge Lisa, you gotta.
Oh. Judgment Day. Judgment Day.
Perfect.
It's coming. It's coming. Don't pee on my leg and tell me it's raining, Kieran Gillen. All right? So, Judge Lisa has spoken. Well, you guys can find us, of course, at simplyamazingpod.com. It is where we have all of our socials. We are still doing our fabulous sale on our website. Every sale that we make goes to the Trevor Project. So please go ahead and get yourself a Banff shirt or get yourself a Juggernaut and Black Tom, not just Buddy's bra shirt or sticker or I don't know. I put it on a ton of shit, so you can get like a lot of stuff. Mug, I think. I don't know. Lots of stuff. Yeah. And then find us on Facebook, find us on Twitter, find us on Instagram. All the links are at simplyamazingpod.com. If you like us, review us, leave us a message. If you hate us, review us, leave us a message. We just love attention. Lauren, where can they find you?
We do just love attention. It's like I imagine this is how Kurt feels when he sees just a hot, pretty blonde lady that has an evil glimmer in her eye. Ugh, attention. Thank you so much. Y'all can find me on Twitter at friendlymBHDBI, and everything else is there.
Awesome. And of course, don't forget her fabulous show every week on Sundays.
Yes, we will. Closer to when Judgment Day first hits, we will be doing a whole episode talking about it. So if they do our boy dirty, rest assured you will hear about that here, and you will hear about it live that Sunday. So
there you go. Amen, girl. Well, for those of you listening in, just rate, review, subscribe, do what you have to do to tell us you love us. But you know what? We love you anyway, even if you don't, because you're just simply amazing.